Good afternoon from Liverpool Street. Today I'll be taking the London Overground to Cheshunt via Seven Sisters. Unfortunately, this train will not be calling at Bethnal Green, so customers will have to change at Cambridge Heath or Bethnal Green. I think it's because it's a rush hour, which is why the train's not calling at Bethnal Green, like I was hoping to. Class 379 just arrived from Cambridge. They could have also been doing a Stansted Express service. Estimated journey time to Cheshunt it's going to take about 45 minutes to get there. Train to Cheshunt via Seven Sisters. Exit at Seven Sisters for South Tottenham for London Overground services to Gospel Oak and Barking. Change at Edmonton Green for services to Enfield Town. You can change at Bethnal Green for the Central Line, had this train called there.
This is the train to Cheshunt via Seven Sisters.
That train is now leaving for Chingford, where I just came back from not so long ago. Yeah, I think during rush hours some trains may not call at Bethnal Green. Yeah, some trains are also formed of 8 carriages rather than just 4. 379015 and 379125 could be travelling on one of these trains all the way from Cheshunt back here before doing Enfield Town in the dark. USB power ports are located on the front and back of every carriage, or maybe every train, like every unit. There's the business class cabin on the Greater Anglia Class 379. Looks comfortable. Oh yeah, that train will be going to Cambridge, calling at Tottenham Hale, Broxbourne, Harlow Town, Sawbridgeworth, Bishop Stortford, Stansted Mount Fitchett, Audley End, Whittlesford Parkway, and Cambridge. They don't look as comfortable as the business class you see on British Airways or maybe first class. Door. If I can't reopen the door, then it means it is time to go. Yes, I've got my my bag with me.
This is the train to Cheshunt via Seven Sisters.
Yeah, now it's time to go. As it's just gone 4:20 AM, sunset is probably here. Yeah, it's already dark. The sun now sets at about 4 PM.
This is the train to Cheshunt via Seven Sisters. Next station, Cambridge Heath.
Hopefully the train to Enfield Town stops at Cambridge Heath. It is one of the new Stadler trains. Over there in the distance there was one about awaiting departure for Norwich. There are even Stadler trains on the Great Eastern Main Line. Not just to Norwich, but could also be to Clacton, Southend, Braintree, Ipswich. Yeah, Bakerloo line now has severe delays due to a faulty track at Oxford Circus, south of Paddington, down to Elephant and Castle. Once again, the flags of countries and territories across the world. Basically meaning that you might be able to get that if you sign up for a phone contract here in the UK, you could call international numbers. Up there is the East London line, which is what I did on Wednesday. Now today's Friday. I was supposed to be going shopping today, but I think I'm going shopping tomorrow, and then I'll come back on Sunday, do Shenfield and the Upminster branch. However, if the Upminster branch isn't open, then I could do it on Monday morning before college. If not, then I'll do everything on Wednesday. So there's Bethnal Green change here for the central line.
Next station, Cambridge Heath. Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Then there was another class 379 off Greater Anglia from either Hertford, Cambridge or Stansted Airport. I think those new one door per carriage thingies these have taken over the Stansted Express services.
Cheshunt via Seven Sisters. This is the train to Cheshunt via Seven Sisters. Next station, London Fields. You must wear a face covering over your nose and mouth at all times when using any TfL services and stations. It's there to protect us all.
There's a Stamford Express
Some
train.
exemptions apply. Please be considerate and remember that exemptions may not always be visible or obvious.
Unfortunately, Stansted Express trains do not call at Cheshunt.
Next station, London Fields.
Oh yeah, some Stansted Express trains may call there, but it's highly
Mind the
unlikely.
gap between the train and the platform. London Fields. This is the train to Cheshunt via Seven Sisters.
Sometimes trains to Chingford may additionally call at Cambridge Heath and London Fields. Like for example, if there's
This is the train to Cheshunt via Seven Sisters.
engineering works between Hackney Downs and Edmonton Green, for example.
Next station, Hackney Downs. Change here for London Overground lines and National Rail services. There are short platforms at Hackney Downs. Would customers please note that due to
a short platform.
Next station, Hackney Downs.
Yeah, some of these. Oh yeah, no.
Would customers please note that due to a short platform, you cannot alight from the rear coach of the train. Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
I think they only announced this on 8-car trains, not 5 or 4-car trains. For nothing stronger or faster for cold, flu or chesty cough, look to Lancet.
Hackney Downs. This is the train to Cheshunt via Seven Sisters.
Best way to get to Cheshunt from Liverpool Street, the Greater Anglia train to Cambridge or Cambridge North. But make sure your train only calls at Tottenham Hill and Cheshunt. Most trains do call at Tottenham Hill.
This is the train to Cheshunt via Seven Sisters. Next station, Rectory Road. You must wear a face covering over your nose and mouth at all times when using any TfL services and stations. It's there to protect us all. Some exemptions apply. Please be considerate and remember that exemptions may not always be visible or obvious.
There goes the West Anglia Main Line and the Chingford branch. Hoping to get this done before Christmas. Remember,
Next station, Rectory Road.
one of my
Mind
highlights.
the gap between the train and the platform.
One of my highlights of 2019 was on Christmas Eve when I went to Earl's Court and did the staircase there. As well as going to the park near Heathrow Airport. When I wasn't into planes at the time.
Rectory Road. This is the train to Cheshunt via Seven Sisters. This is the train to Cheshunt via Seven Sisters. Next station, Stoke Newington. There are short platforms at Next station, Stoke Newington. Would customers please note that due to a short platform, you cannot alight from the rear coach of the train. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Newington. This is the train to Cheshunt via Seven Sisters.
Although we're not at Seven Sisters yet, are we?
This is the train to Cheshunt via Seven Sisters. Next station, Stamford Hill. You must wear a face covering over your nose and mouth at all times when using any TfL services and stations. It's there to protect us all. Some exemptions apply. Please be considerate and remember that exemptions may not always be visible or obvious. Next station, Stamford Hill. Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Yeah, some seats are reserved for people who are pregnant, disabled, or less able to stand. Like on some aircraft, there are baby bassinet seats, especially at the bulkhead.
Stamford Hill. This is the train to Cheshunt via Seven Sisters.
And most of the time you cannot select a baby bassinet seat. You might have to contact the airline you're flying with.
This is the train to Cheshunt via Seven Sisters.
Sometimes somebody else might have.
Next station, Seven Sisters.
Sometimes somebody else may have occupied that seat.
Change here for Victoria Line and National Rail Services.
Exit for South Tottenham for London Overground lines.
Next station, Seven Sisters. Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Then on Wednesday I'll do Reading, Hayes and Harlington and Heathrow Airport on the TfL rail. And maybe later on Wednesday, if not then maybe on Friday, I will probably do all tram services. And on next weekend I will do the district line to Olympia, provided the district line is open and to Olympia.
Seven Sisters. This is the train to Cheshunt.
Next Greater Anglia service will be in 15 minutes bound for Hertford East, calling at Edmonton Green, Cheshunt, Broxbourne, Rye House, St Margaret's, Ware and Hertford East. Victoria and London Underground Victoria line. Maybe there's a walkway.
Train to Cheshunt.
Maybe there's a walkway to South Tottenham. If not, then you have to.
Next station, Bruce Grove.
You might have to walk to South Tottenham via street level.
You must wear a face covering over your nose and mouth at all times when using any TfL services and stations. It's there to protect us all. Some exemptions apply. Please be considerate and remember that exemptions may not always be visible or obvious. Next station, Bruce Grove. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Bruce Grove. This is the train to Cheshunt. train to Cheshunt. Next station, White Hart Lane.
Then you have Silver Street, Edmonton Green, Southbury, Turkey Street, Theobald's Grove and Cheshunt. There are additional USB ports located in the priority area. There must be Tottenham
Next
Stadium.
station, White Hart Lane. Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Exit for Tottenham Stadium. For those wanting to watch a football game there, provided there is a football game happening over there.
White Hart Lane. This is the train to Cheshunt. This is the train to Cheshunt. Next station, Silver Street. You must wear a face covering over your nose and mouth at all times when using any TfL services and stations. It's there to protect us all. Some exemptions apply. Please be considerate and remember that exemptions may not always be visible or obvious.
Always wash your hands before and after travel. Wear a face covering on all TfL services. This train's energy saving with intelligent air conditioning and lighting.
Next station, Silver Street.
Now been approximately 25 minutes.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
23 minutes actually since we left Liverpool Street. Always wash your hands before and after travel. Before and after you travel, let's make sure every journey matters. That's why. Every Wi-Fi is available on this train. Train's energy saving with intelligent air conditioning and lighting. Now 4:44, 24 minutes ago. Please continue at all times when travelling to your
Silver Street. This is the train to Cheshunt. This is the train to Cheshunt. Next station, Edmonton Green. Change here for London Overground lines and National Rail services.
As if some national rail services could not call at Cheshunt and only call here. All national rail services calling at Edmonton Green also call at Cheshunt and Seven Sisters and Hackney Downs.
Next station, Edmonton Green. Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
I remember coming to Cheshunt in 2016 when I was on a school trip. We went canoeing back then. Yeah, most schools don't even do school trips on planes or trains because of how expensive it can be.
Edmonton Green. This is the train to Cheshunt.
So most of the times I have to do coach, like I went to Belgium in 2007 and it was a coach all the way, but it was the ferry between Dover and Calais. Back in 2013 I went to Paris also with school, and that was via the Eurostar from St Pancras to Paris Nord. I will eventually go back to France, but this time with British Airways or Air France, from Heathrow to Charles de Gaulle.
This is the train to Cheshunt.
Next southbound train in 10 minutes.
Next station, Southbury.
Yeah, the branch to Enfield Town leaves us here.
You must wear a face covering over your nose and mouth at all times when using any TfL services and stations. It's there to protect us all. Some exemptions apply. Please be considerate and remember that exemptions may not always be visible or obvious.
Cheshunt does have a level crossing. Last year when I travelled with Avanti West Coast from Stoke-on-Trent back home to London Euston, that was in the dark. We were on our way home from a theme park called Alton Showers. The reason why I call it that is because whenever I'm there it rains most of the time. That there was a Greater Anglia train. Or it could have been London Overground. It's quite obvious to me that it must have been Greater Anglia because I noticed the interior wasn't orange, unlike London Overground trains.
Next station, Southbury. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Southbury. This is the train to Cheshunt.
This could be like my little bend here. Turkey Street is our next stop. Maybe not a good idea because other people might want to sit here.
This is the train to Cheshunt. Next station, Turkey Street.
would want to spend 8 hours on a train between London, King's Cross and Inverness. It takes actually 8.5 hours, or maybe even 8 hours and 45 minutes. When the plane only takes about 1 hour and 45 minutes.
Next station, Turkey Street. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Turkey Street. This is the train to Cheshunt.
Then Theobald's Grove is our next and penultimate stop.
This is the train to Cheshunt. Next station, Theobald's Grove. You must wear a face covering over your nose and mouth at all times when using any TfL services and stations. It's there to protect us all. Some exemptions apply. Please be considerate and remember that exemptions may not always be visible or obvious. Next station, Theobald's Grove. Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Theobald's Grove. This is the train to Cheshunt. train to Cheshunt. Next station, Cheshunt. You must wear a face covering over your nose and mouth at all times when using any TfL services and stations. It's there to protect us all. Some exemptions apply. Please be considerate and remember that exemptions may not always be visible or obvious. Change here for National Rail Services.
If I remember correctly,
Next station, Cheshunt, where this train terminates.
if I remember correctly, then the level crossing must be north.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Must be at the northern end. Yeah, we left at 4:21. We left at 4:21, now it's 4:58. Took over, it was actually like 25 minutes to half an hour, not 45 minutes. I mean, the videos, the recording took 45 minutes. Next train to Liverpool Street is a stopping service. I haven't left anything. That's for my Great Northern 317513. As well as this ex-Great Northern Class 317. Yep, there's the level crossing just north of the station. The train now approaching is for Bishop's Stratford. I think it is an ex-Great Northern unit. Now ready to depart. I remember in 2014, 2015, I went all the way to Hatfield. You see it's 317341, previously operated by Great Northern. Next train from platform 1 is for Stratford. This is 379021. Yeah, business class is a bit packed on this train, but not as packed as the economy cabin. I might give business class a try. These are the stations it's calling at. Calling at Broxbourne, Harlow Town and Bishop Stortford. They remind me of the Class 387s operated by Heathrow Express. This train's only formed of 4 carriages, which might explain why it's a bit packed on most of the trains. It's 379021.
This weekend, some West Anglia services are diverted. Please check before you travel this weekend.
I think it's called the Windmill Lane level crossing. Your level crossing is going to be lowered again. That's it for the full journey all the way up here to Cheshunt 576, and I'll see you soon.